Everything that you've been taught about debt is holding you back. I know that's a bold statement, but after paying off over $4,000 of debt in 90 days, I can prove it. Most people follow the build your credit, build your credit, build your credit philosophy, but that's exactly why they're living paycheck to paycheck. I discovered this the hard way when my wife and I were in debt, but once I stopped listening to the so-called experts and started following these steps, everything changed. And in just 90 days, we were able to pay off over $4,000. Do you want to know the system that we used? I'm going to show you 3 things that actually work. And I'll even share a tip that nobody else is talking about. Let's dive into the conversation. Is it too late for you to get out of debt? You're wondering, should you even attempt to? Well, everything you heard about debt and building credit is all wrong. If you really want to change your life, come to your finances, you need to get out of debt. Here's how you get out of debt. This is what we did. It's about first thing you need to do is change your mindset. Because you're so bombarded every day about borrow money, build your credit, build your credit, build your credit, use other people's money or OPM, you think it's the right thing to do to build credit, to build your FICO score, to get your credit score up so high, to get the points, to do all the things to build your credit. Well, this mindset is keeping you stuck, busted, and disgusted. Here's why: because you think that borrow money is the best way. It's the only way to live. That's a wrong mindset. For me, my mindset changed when I was at work years ago. And this guy was coming to this seminar in my hometown, and I was reluctant to go. But when I went, it was life-changing for me because he helped me understand, this guy did, that debt is not your friend. People make debt a friend when it's really a thief. It's coming to steal, kill, and destroy your dreams, hopes, and desires. If you don't change your mindset about debt, which you need to, you'll stay where you are and wonder why you're living paycheck to paycheck. So the first thing you need to do is change your mindset about debt and see it as a thief and not as a friend. See it as a foe. Second thing you need to do is save between $500 and $1,500 in a savings account. Here's why. Once you decide to go down this journey of becoming debt-free, you'll need something to rely on other than debt. Because right now, you're relying on credit cards, you're relying on your line of credit, and all this other things that people use to prop themselves up. When you're popping yourself up with debt and say you max out your credit card, then what are you going to do? You can't have anything to rely on. Then you got to open up another account, and it's going to affect your credit. You like going in circles. You ever played double dutch before? If you have, think about how you're going back and forth, all right? Trying to wait for the right time to jump in. Well, it's the same thing with debt. You're borrow money, pay it back. Borrow money, pay it back. Borrow money, pay it back. And you do that your entire life. Why? Because that's what you've been told to do. Borrow money and pay it back for the rest of your life. Well, when you stop borrowing money for the rest of your life, you need cash money to rely on, because now you're going to say, all right, I'm not going to borrow money. What am I going to use? I would recommend saving between $500 and $1,500 in a mini rainy day fund, because life is going to hit you. It's going to happen to you. And you're no longer going to rely on debt. You're going to rely on your rainy day fund, because things are going to happen. Job losses, been there before. You have a child and he or she gets sick, or they break their leg and playing a trampoline or a sports activity. You're going to need money to sustain you through the hard times of life, and no longer relying on your old friend, which is debt. That's right, debt. The next thing you do is make a decision. Are you going to do this thing or not? Are you going to continue to build credit, build your FICO score? Are you going to continue to borrow money, going deeper into debt, getting cards on credit, getting 10 credit cards? I saw a guy, he had like 10 credit cards on his arm, right, on social media. I'm like, bruh, that ain't a flex, man. That's crazy. That's not flexing. That's stupidity. You're showing people all how much money you've got tied up in these credit cards, and you think it's a flexing? It is not a flex, bruh. That is stupidity. He was attempting to show people that borrow money is the way to live, to splurge, to go out and do the big thing by borrow money. But that's not the real way to live. You know it's keeping you up at night. Every night you're worrying about How you gonna pay this bill, that bill, credit cards coming to due, mortgage, your rent, whatever you got, all in debt. And then you like, am I going to have no savings? Do I have enough money to pay my bills? Or do I have enough to retire? So you need to make a decision today. Are you going to continue to borrow money to build your credit? Or are you going to decide to become debt-free? And here's the bonus for you. Once you decide to become debt-free, this is why. One reason why is because when you borrow money, you pay back more than you borrow, and you are building someone else's bank account. You're making someone else rich, and you're staying broke. That's why you need to get out of debt, because debt keeps you broke and making someone else rich. And once you decide that, and you need to get out of debt, and you start doing it, this is how you do it. You use the debt crushing method. You crush debt forever by listing your debts from the tiniest one to the biggest one, regardless of interest rate. That's right. We're not worrying about interest rate. We're going to just crush the debt from the smallest one to the biggest one. Pay the minimum on everything instead of the first one. First, we're going to crush so hard. We're going to make so much money and pay out the first debt. Once we pay out the first debt, we're going to put money toward the second debt and so forth. We're going to crush all the debt until you become debt-free, baby. You can do it if you decide to. This is your time, your year. Kick debt to the curb. Give it its moving notice. Say, get out of my life because I want my life back. If you want to stay in debt, this video is not for you. But if you're tired of being in debt, busted, disgusted, and broke, follow this plan here. It can help you. Again, we paid off over $4,000 in 90 days. If we can do it, so can you. Continue to watch the next video. Continue to get value so I can help you to live your life you want when it comes to your finances. See you in the next video.